Because we're almost done. We asked a bunch of questions by Mr. Sloan just now about a host of inaccuracies on fairly significant issues in your reports.
The question is argumentative in itself. It's stated facts and not an evidence.
Okay. Agreed.
Just a minute.
Mark?
I don't believe that the question is argumentative.
It assumes facts and not an evidence as well, Your Honor. And the question you read back.
Read the question back.
Technical, almost done. You were asked a bunch of questions by Mr. Kozlovic just now about a host of inaccuracies on fairly significant issues in your reports.
What's vague?
Okay. You asked questions about, let's generalize it first, inaccuracies in police reports, correct?
Correct.
Okay. One of those, for example, were who had the knife, right?
Yes.
That's a significant issue, isn't it?
Yes, in the report, yes.
One was whether Mr. Ephron was instructed by his attorney to go back to the scene and pick up the shell casings or not. That's a significant issue, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay. And those two issues in the reports were inaccurate, correct? According to you.
Yes.
And those could have been corrected at some point, right?
Yes, they could.
They never were, were they?
I mean, as far as generating a new report, other than what's been explained in court, no.
Right. So the reports today are still inaccurate on those issues.
Correct.
You were asked about one other thing. Let's start with this. 12. You were asked if you would agree to interview, if 12 would agree to be interviewed by you, and you said, he said, no, he wouldn't. Are you referring to, correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Are you referring to 2 weeks ago in court here?
Yes.
Is that the first time you tried to interview him?
Yes.
So, in January of 2025 is the first time you tried to interview 12E about an incident that occurred in November 6th of 2021, correct?
Correct. Me personally, yes.
How about anyone else in your police department?
Yes. No, that was the first one, correct.
Now, you were then asked questions about whether the firearm was operational. Remember those questions just now?
Yes, sir.
You testified already on cross-examination that the video from the garage, you can't indicate if that's an operational firearm or not, correct?
Correct.
You testified on Tuesday that the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar, that from that video you said, that video alone, there's no evidence of a shooting, correct?
That video alone, no.
Correct. But then you said the totality of the circumstances lead you to believe that the firearm was operational. Remember just now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the totality of the circumstances Relli's testimony.
The physical evidence, the video, collectively, yes.
Well, the video, you just said both videos don't add to the fact that it's operational or not.
Collectively, as a whole, not the two that you decided, but in the entirety of all the videos involved, yes.
Well, which video shows you the firearm was operational? Which video?
Sir, as you put it together with the sound, with the sequence of events, along with the physical evidence and the statements from Mr. Ephron, that is just my opinion that it is operational, and that's why I believe it.
Well, take out Mr. Ephron for 1 second, because he's the one who recovered shell casings, right?
Yes.
And he's the one who gives you the narrative on that video that you can't tell what happened in 1616.
Correct. I mean, as he provides narrative of the sequence of events, the initial encounter of the gun that was displayed to him, what he believed to be a gun.
All right.
Whether it's operational or not at that point, I can't tell you. But the sequence of events as they evolved to Selma and Vista Del Mar, the cameras there, the incident that took place as far as what I can describe as a scrabble during some, obviously, the events that occurred there that Mr. Ephron described as being shot at was consistent in conjunction with the audio from the cameras again, this is just what I'm looking at when I'm trying to rationalize and give my opinion as to why I believe it is. A gun that was fired.
I'm sorry, you're done?
Yes, sir.
Take Mr. Relli, Mr. Ephron out of the equation for a second.
Okay.
Take him out of the equation. You don't have Mr. Ephron. And therefore, it showcases that hero, which we talked about the issues with that on Tuesday. Without Mr. Ephron and his narrative or version of events, with those two videos that you said independently, you cannot tell if it's an operable firearm, and the second video you said you can't see if there is a firearm.
It's an improper hypothetical which relies on evidence.
The answer there ignores evidence. Objection sustained.
You want to use as to respond?
No,
Okay, okay.
taking something out of the equation then makes the hypothetical irrelevant. So ask another question.
Is your conclusion based on the fact that Relli's narrative is truthful?
It is consistent up to the point of what he describes occurred, based on what I've been able to see in connection with the physical evidence that has been provided.
So let me break it down this way. Video 1 alone, you don't know if the gun is operable.
Correct.
Video 2, that's 16 pieces of more, or the skull blood. You don't even know if there's a gun based on the video.
Specifically, just looking at that, without looking at anything else, no.
Right. You then hear sounds that appear to be a gunshot, right?
Correct.
Aside from a gun, what else did make those sounds? An operable gun, I should say.
The sound that I heard off that camera, a firearm, some kind of replica firearm potentially, but distinct sound of firearm. Again, my belief it was a firearm.
Right. Thank you.
Mr. Zomit, anything?
Would you agree that you don't need Mr. Ephron's truthful testimony in order to determine that a shooting occurred at that location?
Check shot.
The question was
It's
asked.
a different question. He's asking a different question.
Can I get a question in your mind, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you agree you don't need Mr. Ephron's truthful testimony in order to determine that a shooting occurred at that location?
That's so taking him out of the equation. That's number one. Number two, it's leading. It's leading as can be.
Yeah, the court's ruling, we're getting more speaking objections.
Stating my ground.
Those are not move around, other speech.
Read the question again.
Would you agree you don't need Mr. Ephron's truthful testimony in order to determine that a shooting occurred at that location?
It would be a proper question if the question ended with occurred. But when you say at that location, then I believe that calls for speculation.
Would you agree you don't need Mr. Ephron's truthful testimony to establish a shooting occurred?
Yes.
I don't have an answer.
I do now. So without Mr. Ephron's truthful testimony, what leads you to believe a shooting without Mr. Ephron's truthful testimony? So I guess he's now out of the equation. What would lead you to believe a shooting occurred?
Again, just looking at the video, the first incident where the gun is displayed, he obviously follows through with his scramble, you can best describe.
That's not.
Yes, sir.
Wait,
You need to answer the question, to ask the question.
You asked a question, let's finish.
Okay, so.
So again, it just comes down to, sir, is looking at everything in combination, even without Mr. Ephron's statement. If I were an investigating officer just responding to investigating a shooting scene where maybe there was some evidence found and establishing what had occurred without a potential witness, would be to obviously look at the same video, listen to the same sound of gunfire. Again, it's just factors that would be known at the time. But it would still lead me to believe that there had been some actual shooting short of a reporting witness being present. I would still believe that.
Okay. So you first cited the fact that the gun was displayed. That was the first thing you just cited, right?
Correct.
Which you already told the jury, the gun that was displayed, the only time you could see a gun in any video was the part you watched the camera.
Correct.
You already told the jury, by that video, you can't tell if it's operable, right?
Correct, because it was not fired at that point.
Well, you also said the sound could also have been made by a non-operable firearm. You just said that before.
Again, it's in the realm of possibilities.
Okay.
From what I've heard, again, based on the sound, again, this is just my opinion, my expertise, my experience, I believe it to be a firearm.
You also heard, you were here when the police officer's body cam from the scene was played, right?
Yes, sir.
And you heard the police officer say there's no evidence of a shooting here. You heard that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Now you're.
All right, thank you, Detective Flores. You can step down next witness.